Those were the good old days. But I wonder, how did they pick a lawyer back then?
Good question. They couldn't use a phone book because they didn't have phones.
They couldn't hear a lawyer on the radio.
No radios.
And they couldn't size up a lawyer from a TV ad.
No TV.
I guess they just had to take their chances.
It really wasn't that hard. Because the good guys always wore white hats.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
You know what I'm holding in my hand? The holiday's most dangerous item. Car keys. These little bits of brass can hurt you, your friends, and people you don't even know. If you've been drinking and use your car keys, someone's bound to get hurt.
Out of the blue, the lady was on the phone, and she ran right into me.
Hurt? Call me. I'm attorney Gary Bruce.
I had to get nothing. I just talked to him, and he handled everything else.
Real people get real results.
I think he got me a very good settlement without going to court.
We want to get you your money fast without making you go to court.
From the secretary to Gary, they were so good. They kept in touch with me at every point, every time.
Call 576-GARY.
And I think he's just a great man. I mean, he's awesome.
Got to the light, then I just got pushed.
When your car takes a hit, your whole life takes a hit.
I feel very uncomfortable with the insurance company calling me, rushing me.
You want to get the insurance company's attention? Tell them you're going to call me.
Once I gave him my case, I didn't feel like I had to worry about it anymore.
Call 576-GARY and get help fast.
The first priority in the whole thing was that I was okay.
You want top priority? Call us.
You can call me on day or night.
I'm attorney Gary Bruce. If you get seriously hurt in a car wreck, time is not on your side. And everyone wants a decision now while you're in pain. One phone call to me puts time back on your side. I'm attorney Gary Bruce. Hurt in a car wreck, you're going to need big help. So think big and call me, attorney Gary Bruce. Everyone in our office thinks big. You'll get big service, big help, and all the money you deserve. And we'll work to get it for you and keep you out of the courtroom.
Hey!
Oops, sorry. Hurt in a car wreck? Call me, attorney Gary Bruce, because the good guys think as big as Columbus.
Who was that?
Only one guy I know thinks that big.
Dial 576-GARY.
It's not easy being Gary Bruce's dog. His clients call him anytime. Woof. Answer the phone, Gary. He does take care of them. He gets the insurance company to pay for medical bills, car repairs, even money for pain and suffering. Looks like he's going to be up all night. Better keep him company. After all, I am his best friend.
Hurt in a car wreck? Call me.
Big or small, we work them all.
I'm attorney Gary Bruce, the good guy.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
His trailer hit the side of my car and flipped it.
When your car takes a hit, your whole life takes a hit.
Their insurance company didn't seem to want to pay the bills.
When the insurance company says no, hang up and call us.
Every time I had a bill collector call and they want money, he said, just tell them to call me.
We know car wrecks and how to help.
I would not have been able to get anything without the help of Gary Bruce.
I'm attorney Gary Bruce.
He is a good guy.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
We drive so often we forget how dangerous it is and how often car wrecks happen. If you get in one, call me. I'm attorney Gary Bruce. Nice. We've been dealing with insurance companies for decades. We know about the money the insurance companies won't tell you about. And we'll work hard to get you the money you deserve and keep you out of court. Car wreck? Call me, attorney Gary Bruce, the good guy. We've been hit. Are you okay?
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
When you get hurt in a car wreck, this is the last place I want you to be. I want you to be at home, getting better, while I fight to get you paid for your medical bills, lost wages, and your pain and suffering. And if the insurance company doesn't cooperate, we'll meet them here. We work hard to get you all the money you deserve, often more than the insurance company will tell you about. Hurt in a car wreck and need your money? Call me, attorney Gary Bruce. I want you to stay at home while we take care of everything else.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
Oh.
What's the matter there, old fella?
I was rear-ended and I think I hurt my sacroiliac. Why don't you see a doctor? That costs money.
Don't worry, I'll help get you to a doctor. And we'll work to make the insurance company pay for your medical bills, your lost wages, and your pain and suffering.
Check my sacroiliac. Gary, cars don't have sacroiliacs. Must have been an option.
Hurt in a car wreck? Call me, Attorney Gary Bruce.
The good guy.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
Brought to you in part by the law offices of Gary Bruce.
Attorney Gary Bruce, helping you is what we do.
Oh my. I'm with the insurance company, and we need you to sign right here, right now.
Insurance? Talk to my lawyer.
Not again.
It's the best phone call you can make.
Dial 576-GARY.
You're hurt on the job, and the doctors are talking surgery. Call us. We'll work to make sure you're taken care of for the long term. Workers' comp, call us to find out what to do. I'm Attorney Gary Bruce.
Dial 576-GARY.
This minivan came and hit us from behind.
When your car takes a hit, your whole life takes a hit.
I was injured, my cousin was injured, and we had to go to the hospital by ambulance.
Ruby was very stressed about her medical bills until she called us.
They made it very easy for me.
No problem. The medical bills got paid, and so did she.
We got a good settlement without even having to go to court.
I'm Attorney Gary Bruce, the good guy.
He is the good guy. He is.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
Red truck pulled out in front of us, and we hit it about 48 miles an hour.
Kenny was injured as a passenger.
I don't know nothing about it, so I figured I better go to somebody that does.
We know car wrecks and how to help you.
He took care of everything. We didn't have to go to court.
We found insurance for him he didn't even know about, and we got him paid.
Back pay and medical bills and some.
Good things happen the minute you call 576-GARY.
He is a good guy.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
By the time he pulled out in front of me, it was too late to stop.
It was a terrible motorcycle wreck, and John had a lot of broken bones.
The initial call that I made, he came to the hospital himself.
Call us and get help fast.
He made me feel like I was his only client. He made me feel like I was important.
What we know could get you more.
I was truly surprised when I saw the settlement.
I'm Attorney Gary Bruce, the good guy.
When he actually has to go to bat where you see the good guy come out.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
I hurt my back at work.
Hurt on the job? Call us. I'm Attorney Gary Bruce.
Workman's comp didn't want to pay for it because I'm diabetic.
It could be the best phone call you ever make.
Gary Bruce got me to the people I needed to see.
We can help you get your life back on track.
And I was just completely happy with the results.
I'm Attorney Gary Bruce, the good guy.
The good guy. Lives up to the commercial.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's a good guy. Dial 576-GARY.
You get hurt in a car wreck, and all of a sudden you feel like there's a dark cloud hanging over your life. You're in pain, and the insurance company doesn't want to pay. Call me, Attorney Gary Bruce. I'll work to get you more. You can bet it's more than their first offer. And why go to court if you don't have to? When they find out you have the good guy on your side, well, you know, blue skies. Injured? Call me, because helping you is what I do.
Call Gary Bruce, cause he's the good guy. 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
Dogs are a good judge of character, and Elsie here knows I'll always be there for her. After a car wreck, you should trust your instincts too. Do you really think the insurance company has your back? It might be a good idea to get a second opinion. If you want somebody to talk to about your options, take a cue from Elsie and let me be there for you. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
After a crash, here are some sure signs the insurance company may be doing you wrong. They ask you to sign something, they record your phone call, try to buy you off with a low settlement, or they tell you you don't need a lawyer. If you've heard stuff like that or think something just isn't right, call me now. I'm Gary Bruce. We've protected the rights of thousands in the Chattahoochee Valley for almost 30 years. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
If you've been injured, the problems mount up quick. Medical bills, doctor appointments, the insurance company, loss of your car, still got to get the kids to school and get back to work. It can get the best of any of us. That's why you got to get Gary. I'm Gary Bruce. Let us focus on getting you the maximum compensation so you can focus on getting better. car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Hurt on the job? Gotta get Gary.
If you've been injured at work, you need someone who's ready to listen and respond.
You gotta get Gary.
The law firm committed to protecting your medical rights, your family, and your job.
You gotta get Gary.
One that's determined to get the best possible results in the least amount of time.
You gotta get Gary.
I'm Gary Bruce. If you've been hurt on the job, call me right now. You gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
If you're injured, you need help now.
You gotta get Gary.
You need someone who knows this community and your options for medical care.
You gotta get Gary.
Someone you can talk to, meet with, and who'll shoot you straight.
You gotta get Gary.
I'm Gary Bruce. I don't want you to get taken advantage of by the insurance company. I want you to get the money you deserve. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
The insurance company has a favorite kind of accident victim. The one that takes the first offer and doesn't ask questions because they don't want the hassle. Our clients are different. They see what's going on and they're not afraid to ask for help. Which kind are you? Pushover or the kind that demands what you deserve? Choice is easy. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
If you've been injured, you need your lawyer to be two things. Someone that's easy to talk to, who knows what you're going through, and somebody who's got your back who'll make sure the insurance company treats you right. Nice to you, tough with them. So call the law offices of Gary Bruce today, and we'll get started today. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
Here in Columbus and Phoenix City, hundreds of car wrecks happen at intersections just like this every year. But if you've been injured, you're at another kind of crossroads. Can you trust the insurance company? Should you hire a lawyer? I'm Gary Bruce. In my experience, there's only one way to go. Turn the hassle over to us. We know how to deal with the insurance company, and we know how to make them pay everything they owe you. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? Gotta get Gary.
When you get lost, it's a good idea to get directions from a true local. And when you've been injured, you should get a lawyer who's been serving the Columbus and Phoenix City area for almost 30 years. I'm Gary Bruce. You know me and Elsie here, and you know the decades of help my firm has given to the people in our community. We're local lawyers with local experience. After a car wreck, you gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
The COVID-19 outbreak is quickly changing our day-to-day lives. Through these unprecedented times, our law firm is committed to the safety of the community that looks to us for help. If you're afraid or unable to leave your home, we are ready to serve both new and existing clients through virtual meetings and electronic signatures. You can reach us 24/7 by phone or online. Your well-being will always be our #1 concern. Call 576-GARY.
Car wreck? You gotta get Gary. The insurance company will promise anything to keep from paying what they owe you. They promise they'll take care of your car repairs. They promise they'll take care of medical bills. They promise they're making a good offer. Take it or leave it. After an accident, you can take their word for it, but isn't it worth one phone call to get the truth? I'm Gary Bruce. Call me for a free consultation. You gotta make sure you're being treated fairly. You gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY. Car wreck? You gotta get Gary. After an accident, you may think it's best to wait and see before calling a lawyer, but don't do it. In my 30 years of experience, wait and see can turn into wait and lose. Once the insurance company thinks you're desperate for money, they may offer you less than you really deserve. A lot less. I'm Gary Bruce. I don't believe in wait and see. I believe in fight and win. You gotta take fast action. You gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY. Car wreck? You gotta get Gary. Growing up, I was taught you measure twice and cut once. That means being smart and careful, which will help you avoid costly mistakes. I'm Gary Bruce. If you've been injured in a car accident, the same lessons apply. Just one mistake could cost you thousands of dollars and hours of hassle. Don't take chances. Let us measure twice, because after an accident, you gotta get this right. You gotta get Gary. Call 576-GARY.
My accident took place on Fort Benning. It was really unfortunate, but I'm glad I survived by the grace of God. I knew I needed a lawyer. I called Gary Bruce because I trust the firm. They're a good firm. They're local. That's assuring to me that, you know, he's going to take care of business here. I would recommend the law offices of Gary Bruce. My advice would be to anyone, call Gary Bruce first.
I knew I needed help. Gary Bruce was the top, and he's local. When I came to Gary Bruce, the first person I met was Gary. He was outside. He greeted me, and I explained that I had a car accident, that I needed some advice. I didn't talk to the insurance at all. I didn't do nothing. They did it all. I'm Harry Santana. I'm an actual client of the law office of Gary Bruce. You gotta get Gary.
For me, being a client of Gary Bruce, it was just like talking to family. It was very easy to talk to Gary and his staff. They were honest, they were knowledgeable, and yet at the same time, they were very personable. And they gave me a sense of calmness and peace. I would recommend the law offices of Gary Bruce because they're honest, they're helpful, they're experienced, and they're gonna get the job done. They're gonna work hard for you. You gotta get Gary.